and welcome back. Today we're checking out another SCP video. Today is going to be SCP-097, Old Fairgrounds. This again is another video for October, Halloween themed, spooky themed. This is classified as a Halloween SCP, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. This was a commenter suggestion, so thank you very much for that. Old Fairgrounds.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-97. Object Class: Euclid.
Okay.
Special Containment Procedures. SCP-97 is contained within the limits of the property where it was initially discovered, Zone SCP-97. The property is surrounded by an 8-meter tall concrete block fence fitted with barbed wire and security camera systems. Satellite images of Zone SCP-97 are to be doctored, removing all traces of the area. Any and all new plant growth outside the containment area suspected to originate from within the SCP is to be sterilized through application of boiling salt water and/or incinerated. Absolutely all abnormal behavior is to be reported to Dr. Bridge within 10 minutes of the occurrence. If any personnel or their families experience hallucinations or thematically related dreams outside of containment, they are to contact Dr. Bridge to schedule treatment.
Okay, so that is the first time I'm hearing of an SCP having plant life around the containment area removed or sterilized. Typically, it's just a cordoned off zone with maybe a wall, fence, or barrier of some kind. But this is the first time I'm hearing of it not only being walled off, but having the plant life around that wall also removed. Not sure why. Hopefully they go into that in a little bit here.
Localities surrounding SCP-97 specifically are to be monitored from the 1st of April until the 1st of November every year for affected civilians. Medical establishments dealing with sleep abnormalities are to be monitored for signs of SCP-97's influence. Civilians below the age of 16 encountered alone within 1 square kilometer of Zone SCP-97 are to be taken into Foundation custody and are to be treated with a Class B amnestic and returned home or the nearest police station. Personnel tasked with the return of civilians are to avoid public exposure. Each agent is to be assigned a cover story to follow if they do encounter civilians en route to their destinations. See Level 3 staff for details.
Okay.
The morning after the first frost of the year, a team of 25 agents armed with agricultural tools are to enter SCP-97 and clear away the outer plant matter. This process is not to continue past dusk.
Okay, again, see, there must be a reason for this because they're bringing it up again, the removal of plant matter from the area.
Description: SCP-97 is a 10-acre area of land in the Midwestern United States. It is the abandoned remains of the County Fair, 1969, an area of approximately 2.3 kilometers squared. The structures within the SCP area exist in a state of moderate disrepair, consistent with the expected age and environment. At the center of SCP-97 lie the remains of a 1956 GMC pickup truck, the majority of which is crushed beneath a colossal pumpkin of unknown subtype. Henceforth, SCP-9701.
Okay.
SCP-9701 stands approximately 7.4 meters tall and 8.1 meters in diameter at its widest.
That's a fat pumpkin. Holy cow.
Current estimates put SCP-9701 at approximately 15,000 kilograms. This pumpkin remains roughly spherical in shape, instead of spreading out under its own weight, as would be expected of a plant of its size. The remaining portion of SCP-97 is overgrown, with several dozen varieties of pumpkins with over 70 subspecies yet identified, and many previously unknown to agriculture. Many of these pumpkins have been shown capable of growing to enormous sizes. The average estimated weight being around 250 kilograms. These pumpkins, along with the other assorted crops, grow with, on, and around the remains of the 1969 Fairgrounds, creating a maze-like arrangement of plant life. The average height of the walls within SCP-97 is 1.6 meters, though this may vary from year to year.
Okay, so the interior of this fairgrounds is overgrown, essentially, with pumpkins and some other plants and whatnot, and it's completely overgrown, essentially kind of making like a maze, presumably to be similar to the corn mazes that are popular during this time of year in certain places, especially in Midwest America, in that, Corn Belt area where there's lots of fields. Okay, so it's starting to make a little bit more sense.
Between April and November each year, the area within SCP-97 has produced a number of anomalous phenomena ranging from benign to implicitly aggressive. To date, 17 agents have been severely maimed within SCP-97, 8 having died.
Oh, okay.
See event log SCP-97 for a brief list of recorded phenomena. Addendum. Historical note. Prior to the construction of SCP-97's containment wall, instances of what are now known as SCP-2171-1 were occasionally observed to form fragmented walls, and at one point, a near-complete ring of 2171 around SCP-97's area of effect. This behavior ceased following the containment wall's completion. The purpose and implications behind this interaction are, as of yet, unknown.
Okay.
Effects of SCP-97 on children. In addition to its immediate effects, outlined in event log SCP-97, SCP-9701 appears to produce an undetectable signal towards children in an undetermined range. For clarity, children will refer to individuals up to the age of 10. Beginning in early April, civilian children with SCP-97's undefined range may be overcome with somnambulism on clear nights. Affected children will move around their homes, stopping to face closed doorways for several seconds before moving to the next nearest doorway, eventually returning to bed. At first, this behavior will occur only once a week, beginning with only the doors on a single floor. This sleepwalking will become more frequent, by mid-August happening every night. If forcibly awoken at any time during these episodes, they will scream for several seconds before succumbing to a degree of confusion. After an affected child is awoken in this manner, the effect will cease and the child will never show any further signs of SCP-97's influence.
So they go into these sleepwalking states, these trances almost, and it seems to, over time, get stronger. It seems like a stronger trance, as well as becoming more frequent. So it's almost like whatever is affecting their minds is maybe trying to form like a connection. And it seems like if it's interrupted while trying to form that connection, it becomes permanently severed, which is why if they're awakened in this manner, they don't show any signs of 097's influence at all. Okay, all right.
Over the course of 2 to 3 months, these episodes will become more thorough. Affected individuals seeking out each doorway inside their home, as well as those on their household's property, such as garages, car doors, and fence gates. Eventually, they will begin visiting the front doors of neighbors. Beginning in September, affected children who have remained undisturbed during these episodes will begin to remain outside at sunrise, laying on grass near their homestead and returning to full REM sleep. Affected children may recall dreams centering around autumn activities. Between September 1st and November 1st, if the affected children have not been awoken during the preceding sleepwalking episodes, they will cease the previously established activity during the sleepwalk and instead begin to walk directly towards SCP-97's location. They will travel over fields and down secondary roads, steadily moving towards SCP-97. Local geography consists of mostly undeveloped, Foundation-owned property, facilitating uninterrupted travel. Upon arrival at SCP-97, an affected child will sit down before SCP-9701 and begin singing unidentifiable gibberish as music begins to play. While a number of instruments have been recorded, simple drums and pipes are most consistently encountered. After several minutes, childlike entities will crawl out from tangled flora or break out of larger pumpkins within SCP-97. The children will be wearing whatever they were last seen with, most often pajamas or similar clothing. Many of these entities match those children known to be lost to SCP-9701.
These children are affected by this sleepwalking symptom, which over time becomes more intense and lasts longer, as well as happening on a nightly basis. They go from doorway to doorway in their home, even going so far as to leave their home or go to their neighbors' doorways, and if left uninterrupted for long enough, they'll eventually be drawn to the location of 097. Very interesting. It seems that when they get there, they're then confronted with these giant pumpkins, and other children that have gone missing will then burst from these pumpkins and appear to the people that are coming in. Okay, all right, let's keep going.
The entities will surround the affected civilian child, dancing and singing in a circle as SCP-9701 begins to emit dim light. The affected child will awaken, normally expressing a great deal of terror. The instant any vocalization is produced, the entities will swarm and kill the child. Methods used are different in each instance, but usually involve dismemberment or strangulation. At this point, any and all efforts to interrupt the entities will fail, whether through breakdown of equipment, sudden intangibility of subjects, or express violence on the part of SCP-97.
Wow.
After the death of the affected child, SCP-9701 will split open, and the entities will hurl the remains into it before climbing in themselves. SCP-9701 will then close, and the music will stop. Before the containment wall was erected, at least children between the ages of 3 and 10 are known to have been lost to SCP-97. See Event Log SCP-97 for current examples of SCP-97's behavior.
Okay, wow. So, once you're affected, you eventually make your way there, and once you're there, other missing children will come out from the plant life or burst out of the giant pumpkins and sing and dance around you. At that point, the person becomes lucid again and is able to be like, oh, where am I? What's happening? Why are all these gross pumpkin-covered children singing and dancing around me? And the second you vocalize, the second you say something, whether it's questioning your surroundings or screaming, or because undoubtedly most people would be very terrified if they just gained consciousness and was standing in the middle of an abandoned fairgrounds filled with dancing, singing, dirty children. You'd probably be immediately freaked out. And as soon as you vocalize anything, apparently, you are then torn to shreds by these children, and the remains are then thrown back into, I guess, these giant pumpkins, and the children climb in, and I assume they've just added another tally to their list, added another child to the pumpkin farm, if you will. Oh, okay.
Event Log SCP-97. This is a general incident log for SCP-97 for the cycle between the 1st of September and the 1st of November. This is an abridged version. Please requisition full individual reports from Dr. Bridge. During this time, 4 civilian children were captured and returned to their families. September 3rd, 9:39 a.m. Cameras 3B, 4A, 4C, and 5B view child, approximately 4 years of age, walk between tangles of plant matter towards SCP-97-1 over an 8-minute period. Child appeared to be dragging a stuffed animal. Notes: Child appeared on footage during review period. No figure was viewed at the time of recording. September 5th, 5:33 p.m. Human scream heard from within SCP-97, heard throughout the site. On-site personnel described it as possessing a small child's voice, sustained for approximately 3 minutes before stopping abruptly. Notes: staff reported feeling as if they were being watched during the event.
Creepy.
September 8th, no time noted. Several bedsheet ghosts are seen through various security feeds throughout the day. Would only appear for approximately 1 to 3 seconds before vanishing again. Staff did not report seeing any anomalous entities firsthand. Notes: patrols doubled for the remaining time in the SCP cycle. September 13th, 10:19 p.m. Unidentifiable singing is heard throughout the site, persisting for 3 hours before becoming silent. Recordings reveal song-like gibberish with up to 30 individual children's voices singing at any time. Notes: recordings archived for future study. September 19th, 2:27 p.m. Agent McRoy cuts a pumpkin's vine with a machete. Severed vine proceeds to bleed approximately 50 liters of human blood before shriveling. Notes: blood type AB-, no DNA match.
Very interesting. So, because I was going to ask, since it appears that these children creatures come out of these giant pumpkins, I was wondering, have they ever cut into these pumpkins to see if there's human bodies in there, or to see if there's something else going on in there? I mean, obviously you'd want to get inside one of these pumpkins to try and figure out what is going on here. It seems like when they did cut the vine of one of these pumpkins, it bled human blood. I mean, obviously these pumpkins are connected to these children in some way, not only like magically connected, but also very, very physically connected, it seems. Let's keep going.
September 24th, no time noted. Overnight, 2 separate pumpkin patches grew into the rough approximations of humanoid figures lying on the ground. Notes: destroyed without incident. September 25th, 5:17 a.m. Agent Long found decapitated, neck against a pumpkin. Notes: disappeared en route to a bathroom break.
So I'm assuming this was one of the guards that was responsible for guarding the location that 097 is located at, and went on a bathroom break, found with his head removed, neck against the pumpkin. So head gone and pumpkin where his head should have been. Okay.
September 27th, 2:50 a.m. All light bulbs on site burn out within a 2-minute period. Notes: critical areas repaired before nightfall. September 30th, 12:16 p.m. Sudden shift noted in the location of several dozen gourd plants. Notes: time and nature of actual event unknown. October 1st, 2:29 p.m. Agent Cole accidentally damages and breaks pumpkin during weekly examination of SCP-97. Pumpkin splits open, revealing a complete human child skeleton in the fetal position within. Notes: female, approximately 5 years old. No DNA match.
Okay, so they did break open one of these pumpkins, apparently, on accident, even though you think that that would have been one of the very first things that they actually intentionally did, was to cut one open, but apparently not. Apparently they broke one open on accident, and it is, in fact, filled with children. Okay, so that answers that. Those giant pumpkins filled with children. Now, that was filled with a skeleton, so maybe it was in there for a while? I don't know. It's hard to tell if you go in there and are rebuilt into something else, or if you go in there and you just stay in there until it's time to come out again when someone else comes through. I don't know. It's hard to tell. maybe being used to nourish the pumpkin patch. I don't know.
October 2nd, no time noted. 29 freshly decapitated crows found outside SCP-97's containment wall. Notes: none. October 6th, 6:37 a.m. Matured pumpkin plant found to have replaced a potted plant growing inside Dr. Bridges' office. Notes: indoor plants banned from the site. Pumpkin incinerated immediately.
Ooh, okay. So, my question about this particular thing is, where's Dr. Bridges' office? It's got to be close enough to the fairgrounds where something like this could happen. So his office or research facility must be either directly next to or maybe even on the fairgrounds property. I don't know. It's probably not in the fairgrounds, not inside the walled area of the fairgrounds, but it's probably directly outside of that. So, okay. All right. Just pumpkin magically sprouted into where one of his potted plants should be. And as a result, all indoor plants are banned from the site. Probably a wise choice given the nature of it. And this also goes a long way to explaining why they go so far to remove any plants from the exterior perimeter of the fairgrounds. They don't want that stuff growing outwards. Okay.
October 7th, 4:50 p.m. Agent Matthews falls unconscious during patrol and cannot be awoken until removed from property. Notes: Agent reported dreaming of autumn colors and the smell of leaves. Full recovery. Reassigned to desk work pending examination. October 11th, 7:38 a.m. Research Assistant Sturm reports overwhelming taste and scent of pumpkin permeating her senses. No other personnel report anomaly. Notes: transferred off-site, examination pending.
Okay, so now it's making people fall unconscious or affecting their senses. All right. I mean, this SCP has a pretty wide variety of effects that it's having on people.
October 13th, no time noted. Sounds of steady drums play throughout the day from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Notes: source of sound unknown. Recordings archived for future study. October 17th, 3:19 a.m. Male child approximately 6 years of age and clad in pajamas seen climbing through corn stalks on the eastern end of SCP-97, moving towards SCP-9701. Notes: lost to SCP-9701. How the child was able to escape notice by personnel until after he was lost to the SCP is unknown.
I mean, either someone wasn't paying attention on guard duty, or maybe its anomalous effects extend to the people that it's trying to pull in. Maybe it makes them a little bit less noticeable than they normally would be. I don't know.
October 20th, 1:07 p.m. All personnel within 3.6 kilometers of SCP-9701 report hallucinations of orange haze and children's laughter. Notes: personnel evacuated to a distance outside the area of effect. Personnel screened for mental interference. October 23rd, 12:01 a.m. All power and backup power to the area failed. Upon recovery, pumpkins within SCP-97 were found to have changed into carved lanterns. Notes: it is unknown how SCP-97 generated lit candles. Team 97 Alpha and Beta tasked to destroy lanterns after sunrise.
It almost seems like the effects the 097 is putting out are getting stronger and more intense the closer to Halloween that it gets. Because at first it was like, okay, one guy passed out and couldn't be woken up until he was removed from the property. Now, everybody within a distance of it is seeing an orange fog and hearing music, like all personnel, not just one dude, but everybody. And then, of course, there's all the power and backup power failing at the same time, and then once you get the power back on, suddenly the pumpkins are carved jack-o'-lanterns with lights inside them. I mean, it went from like small, minuscule things to very clear, decisive, unquestionably anomalous activity. So it seems like its effects are getting stronger as you get closer to Halloween.
October 23rd, 8:13 a.m. Team 97 Alpha reports seeing and hearing children playing among the flora within SCP-97. Recordings lack the entities expected from the reports. Notes: children noted to be clad in pajamas. Teams pulled from SCP, screened for mental interference. October 25th, 11:49 a.m. Z maze and errata kernels fall from the sky around SCP-97, does not fall within the containment walls. Notes: area cleansed with flame units and replanted with non-native grasses. Pavement outside of area pending. October 26th, 9:13 p.m. Research Assistant O'Toole overcome with nausea and vomits pumpkin seeds. O'Toole did not eat pumpkin seeds previous to vomiting. Notes: Research Assistant O'Toole transferred to site for examination. Seeds incinerated with prejudice. October 27th, 10:03 a.m. Research Assistant O'Toole reported to have died overnight. Autopsy reveals thoracic cavity was filled with pumpkin seeds. Notes: body incinerated at site. All personnel scheduled for full physical examination. October 28th, no time noted. Unintelligible whispering gibberish heard by fertile female personnel throughout the area when in view of SCP-97. Phenomenon continues throughout the day, continuing for the duration of SCP-97's cycle, i.e. until November 1st. Notes: associated personnel removed from duty and scheduled for examination. October 28th, 5:45 p.m. Headlights of vehicle underneath SCP-9701 light and stay lit until daybreak. Notes: none. October 29th, no time noted. Fruit trees within SCP-97 blossom over the course of 5 hours beginning at roughly 7 a.m. Flowers wither and fall soon after. Notes: none. October 29th, 8:07 a.m. Pumpkins near south entrance to SCP-97 began spontaneously bleeding from the stem.
Bleeding.
Each continued bleeding for 3 hours. Notes: blood type AB-. No DNA match.
Okay, so yeah, things are definitely ramping up on the weirdness scale the closer you get to October 31st. And to the point where one of these incidents was fatal, filling the person's thoracic cavity with pumpkin seeds. Oof, not good.
October 31st, 3:10 a.m. Several dozen unidentified spheres of red light viewed drifting above SCP-97 and surrounding area. When light was shone directly on the spheres, a piercing shriek was heard. Notes: personnel called into the main building until spheres dissipated at dawn. October 31st, 12 p.m. Sounds of steady drums are recorded from within SCP-97. Drums persist for the following 12 hours. Notes: no source identified. Recordings archived for future study. October 31st, 2:19 p.m. All strawberry plants within SCP-97 wither in unison. Notes: none. October 31st, 5:43 p.m. Between 25 and 30 animate human skeletons of varying size are recorded breaking out of larger pumpkins within SCP-97. Skeletons traverse through SCP-97's flora to the northeast peach tree and hang themselves from its branches using lengths of grapevine, electrical cable, and decaying rope. Skeletons ceased anomalous behavior after pantomiming death by hanging. Death throes continued for approximately 23 minutes. Notes: skeletons recovered after first frost. All appeared under 12 years of age. No DNA matches. skeletons incinerated after examination. Okay. It's just not Halloween unless a child skeleton hangs itself, huh?
Apparently not.
Anyway.
All right. That was SCP-097, the old Fairgrounds. Definitely a solid Halloween one for sure. It's actually an SCP that seems to increase its intensity going up to Halloween. It has a cycle every year. I think that definitely helps with its containment, the fact that it has a predictable cycle and is only really operational during a couple months out of the year, centering around, obviously, Halloween. And it seems that, you can put up a wall around it. However, it seems as though some people are still able to get through its containment. Seems like the biggest danger here is its lure on people. The fact that it pulls people into it. It's not a completely overwhelming SCP. There is opportunities for the link that is between its victim and the fairgrounds to there is an opportunity to sever that link if you're able to wake them up forcibly while they're in their sleepwalking state. It appears to permanently sever that link and essentially save that person. So there is an out, and you can also be kept from entering if people see you and prevent you from doing it. Now, once you're in the fairgrounds, once you're frolicking amongst the pumpkins, well, then your fate is pretty much sealed. Turns out there are, in fact, children in the pumpkins. And at first, when they said it was just a skeleton inside, I thought, well, maybe they'd just been in there for too long and the kid that was in there is now nothing more than bones. But apparently those bones are also used for its final performance, if you will, where the skeletons all come out of their respective pumpkins and gather around a tree and hang themselves from a tree, pantomiming death by hanging. All of this occurs during the month leading up to Halloween and kind of crescendos on Halloween Day with the hanging of the skeletons. Overall, yeah, good SCP, great Halloween SCP. Really enjoyed it. This was a commenter suggestion, so thank you very much for that. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, go ahead and click that like button. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really helps the channel out. And as always, leave a comment down below. Let me know what other SCPs I should be checking out. Let me know what other SCPs I should check out for the month of October. As always, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching the video. Take care of yourselves and have a great day.